Austin.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, all right. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for
Good.
having me.
You're a little bit early. Are you good? You good to go?
Oh yeah, I just
Okay.
went through the email and clicked on the link and stuff just to make sure that I was earlier than late.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. That's a great ethic to live by, man.
Yeah, well, I'm trying.
Yeah. Fantastic, man. Hey, it's good to see you. And watching you play is something, man. Uh, so young too. Fantastic player. I've really enjoyed looking at a lot of the clips and hearing that new single, "The River."
Yeah, thanks, man. That was a lot of fun making it with Frank.
Yeah, yeah. Now Frank Hannon, from Tesla, of course, is kind of taking you under his wing and being a mentor. And what a great one he is. He's just an amazing player and a great guy taking on a lot of young players like yourself. And how did you hook up with Frank initially?
Well, when I met Frank, um, we'll preface it before my birthday when I turned 21. Um, my good family friend bought me tickets to see Tesla at Thunder Valley, which is a casino slash venue up where I live in California. And I knew some people that were in and around the Tesla crew, like photographers and stuff. And so I reached out to a bunch of my friends and I said, hey, my buddy just bought me some tickets to see Tesla. Are you going to be at the venue? And could I surprise him with just saying hi to like Frank, because he's been watching them since they were City Kid.
Okay.
And I didn't really get some responses, and some other people were busy and stuff. And so I just reached out to Frank directly via Facebook. And thankfully, I caught him at the right time because he got back to me right away. I was like, hey, I'm Austin Mo, blah, blah, blah. I was very cordial and stuff. And he was like, yeah, man, do you guys want some backstage passes or what? And I was like, yeah. And so we went backstage, and there were I think they just finished their meet and greet because we couldn't really find any of the guys. And so we were sitting watching the opening act, and then I get a text from Frank, and he's like, hey man, are you at the show yet? And I was like, yeah, we went backstage and da da da. And he was like, oh well, I'll go get one of my guys, they'll bring you into the trailer. And so then we hung out with him for about 10 to 15 minutes, and it's still surreal that I've been working with him on my music. It's just
Yeah. Yeah, that's it is a gift and an honor to have him, for sure. And not everybody gets that opportunity, and you're making the best of it. It looks like some great stuff you're putting out.
Oh,
Um,
thank you, man.
your first interest, you're my son's age, and you guys have similar stories. He just graduated with a degree in teaching music,
Oh, that's
so
cool.
but he was he cut his teeth with Guitar Hero. uh
Oh
that
yeah.
was that was a big interest, and I've surrounded him with music too, but it was a great outlet to open up young people to older music, more classic music. There was a lot of great music and newer music, but a lot of great older classics on those games. um
Yeah.
how did you venture out from those songs? Like I know you listen to some Robin Trower and stuff like that, some really classic stuff that's not on the game. Did you take it upon yourself to explore that world of guitar players?
So when I was I mean, I'm still a young guy, but when I was growing up, like elementary school to middle school, my dad had a Harman Kardon power amp that was designed for a nightclub in the 80s. And he had some Surin Vega monitors that were about 15 inches. And we had two of those and an 18-inch sub. And so he would wake me up when I wouldn't want to get out of to bed to school with like Stevie Ray Vaughan or like Robin Trower. We have Bridge of Sighs, the album on
Oh,
CD. And
incredible.
the thing with those stereos is they count upwards from like negative 99 to 0. And so he would put it at about 30, negative 30, and wake the whole neighborhood up. Like walls would be shaking. It was really the best way to wake up.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. That's great. That's really cool. So yeah, I mean, your dad is a musical guy, obviously.
Well, he plays the radio very well.
There you go. uh, Going back to actually playing that game, do you think it helped you to play an actual guitar once you started playing?
I think so, because I got too good at it. I mean, I could still probably pick it up and play some of the songs that I had memorized as a kid, but it got to the point where I could play, for example, the Metal by Tenacious D. 90% of the time I wasn't even looking at the TV. So I was
Right.
memorizing the song pretty much as if I was playing guitar. And I think that attributed to my hand-eye coordination,
Mhm.
because I'm a very visual learner. And so I would look up on YouTube, like when I had my first guitar, which is that Flying V in our music video. I think one of the first songs I learned was TNT by AC/DC.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Um, and I wanted to get into that. Your first guitar that you picked up and played, real guitar, was a Flying V.
Yeah.
My son, his first guitar was also a V. It was
Oh,
a
nice.
Dean Mini. You had the full size Gibson. Um,
Mhm.
his teacher told him that the body style was a little bit difficult for him because it kept sliding. The traditional body style, like the Les Paul body style, especially, had that little hill, and he
Yeah.
could, rest it. And did you find the same thing playing the V when you were first starting out? Was it a little more difficult body style?
Um, I don't think so, because I'm kind of a taller guy, and so my arms are. It was kind of natural for me to just pick it up and set it in between my legs and just go to town on it.
Awesome, awesome. Um, you have a really wide taste for music. I know you love Stevie Ray Vaughan, and you play a lot of blues and classic rock. Do you ever venture out into like the funk areas and jazz and stuff like that?
Well, funny you should mention funk, because my bass player, his dad was in a local funk band when he lived in town, and so we would just get bored, and if we didn't have a gig, we would just go out and sit in with dad and just change it up a little bit. We'd play like uh, what's that song? Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself, and like
Yeah,
Superstition and stuff, and
awesome.
we would play some country, very, very light amount of country, more like Skinnerd and stuff. But
Right. A little Southern rock. Yeah.
yeah, and like the
Yeah.
Cadillac 3 and stuff with some grit to it.
Right. Right. Have you had formal guitar instruction or vocal instruction?
Well, I had 3 months in total of guitar lessons, but that was because I auditioned for a country band when I was about 15, and they were slated to go on tour in Nashville and stuff, and I had no idea anything to do with country because I was playing blues for the most part.
Right.
And so I hooked up with a local guitar teacher by the name of David Albertson, and he showed me a bunch of stuff. And the girl's dad told me, yeah, it's just G, C, and D, but you just move the capo around the fretboard. And we got to a song where we didn't even know what was going on. And then I told him that, and I think he put the capo on like the third fret, and then it was just G, C, and D.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Okay, that'll work.
Oh, yeah.
Now singing and playing simultaneously, I know you do that seamlessly and effortlessly, it seems. Um, did you practice that on Guitar Hero for like Rock Band when the all the instruments started coming into the game? And did you struggle at all with that?
The very first time I sang live was at a little club um, called the Valencia Club up in Penryn, California. And this will kind of tie into, I have had some mentorship with my vocals. So the very first time I sang was with this band, and the bass player was married to Ike Turner's first daughter, Twana Turner.
Okay.
And she was before Ike and Tina. So I don't remember his first wife's name, but I was playing with them, and she happened to be in the audience. And my very first song that I ever did was "The Sky Is Crying" by Stevie Ray Vaughan. And I'm glad there's no videotapes of it that I'm aware of, because it was a struggle. And now it's natural because I've been doing it for so long. But my dad actually tricked me into, one, playing the guitar, and two, playing the guitar and singing, because when I got that Flying V, he borrowed it from his friend, and it was only supposed to be for like a couple of months, and I've had it for almost 10 years, thankfully. Dude, that guitar just sounds so good. But anyways,
Yeah.
My dad would pay me 25 cents for a discernible riff that he could understand on the guitar. So that's why I went home. First song I learned was TNT by AC/DC. And he was like, oh man. So I kept getting better and better and better. Then he would charge me, I would charge him, so to speak. The bet was $20 a song. And the first song he gave me was Scuttlebutton by Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Nice.
He was like, yeah, no, there's no way Austin's going to pick this up. And so he like went out to lunch or something, or he went to work because I think he had a day shift. And when he came back, I was playing it note for note.
Wow.
And
Awesome.
he was like, okay. So the more I did that, then we had a conversation, which was, what do I want to be? Do I want to be a guitar player, or do I want to be like a singer-songwriter kind of a thing?
Right.
And my blanket statement has always been, I want to be a household name like Hendrix and Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Mm-hmm.
My dad goes, well, the difference between where you're at right now, which is a getting good at guitar, and where they are, is they sing. So now I'll pay you $20 a song that you can sing and play. And then he went broke on that.
Wow.
And I've pretty much been doing my thing ever since.
Man, that's fantastic. Because I know, I mean, I've talked to seasoned players that do it, and some of them say they still struggle with it. That, playing and
there's
singing.
certain songs that just is really difficult, but thankfully I own my own PA system, so I just crank it up and practice whenever there's a song that's just hitting a wall.
Yeah. And if you had advice for somebody, a younger player that was struggling, it's practice, isn't it?
Yeah, practice and learn what you want, because that's what I did. And I'm not saying don't take lessons. Lessons are very valuable if people are more hands-on than with another person. Just like for me, I'm a very visual learner, so teaching myself was pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
But I know some of my friends, they had to learn guitar through lessons. So whichever way you feel is easier, just pursue your passion, man.
Yeah.
Whether it's country, rock, bluegrass, or whatever.
Right. Yeah, that's so cool. Are there any new artists? I mean, all I hear, from you and your influences are all these great players. Robin Trower, Stevie Ray Vaughan. All of these great seasoned veterans. Do you find yourself listening to any new stuff? Any new bands out there?
Well, technically yes, but like Joe Bonamassa and John Mayer.
Mm-hmm.
I consider them new because they're the last 20 or so years. Mm-hmm. But for rock, a band that came out quite recently, I think they hit mainstream within the last 2 or 3 years, was Greta Van Fleet.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people were calling them like Zeppelin incarnate. And my bass player actually sent me one of their live performances that went viral. And I was like, oh my God, I got some work to do, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, Greta Van Fleet. There's this band called Dirty Honey
Yep.
And there's another.
Right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And there's another group. I don't. My bass player introduced me to them. They're called the Cadillac 3.
Mhm.
They're more of a southern rock kind of vibe. Instead of a bass player, they have a slide guitar player with bass strings on the slide guitar. So
Wow.
it just sounds really heavy and thick, and it's just, I
Yeah.
love it, man.
Man, that's cool. I mean, that's, that's a Hendrix type of, ingenuity that they've done
Yeah,
there. Wow.
yeah.
That's
When we would go out and play that, there's a song that's called "I'm Southern," and we would go out to a bar and play it, and like 2 people would know it, but the other people who didn't know it thought it was our song, so it kind of just worked out either way. They were like, "Hey, you guys should play that one song. You know your song." I'm like, "For now, you can think that's our song. Sure, why not?"
Hey, that's the advantage of playing those deep tracks,
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
when will we get more music from you? We have The River, and I think you're putting out a video, correct?
Yeah, actually, the video just dropped today, December 3rd at 7 a.m. Eastern.
Awesome. Awesome. I look forward to seeing it. I have not gotten a link to it. I'm surprised. Yeah, I'll put that out there for everybody to see too. And
Thank you.
yeah, what will we have more music soon?
I've been writing way more than I normally have post or pre-COVID. I was focused on gigging a lot and trying to get my name out there, playing a bunch of covers and stuff.
Yeah.
And now that that's virtually not happening, pretty much,
Right.
it's allowed me to focus on songwriting, and it's also allowed Frank to show me some of his wisdom and how he processes music. And it's very, very I don't know if insightful is the word that I'm looking for, but that's what's coming to mind.
Yeah, like an enlightening.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
enlightening. Yeah, I'm trying to just absorb up as much as I can from him like a sponge. And it's
Good for
really helped
you.
with my songwriting.
Yeah.
But we're discussing either an EP or an album. We're still trying to figure out which one we want to do. But hopefully sooner than later,
Okay.
we'll be able to drop something.
Yeah, and I see so many people releasing song by song now, because it's not an album type of world,
Yeah.
with streaming and everything.
Hmm.
But you guys plan on maybe 5 songs, or maybe a full album.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say
Okay,
so. That's
cool.
that's doable.
Yeah, yeah. I see. I'm old school, and I love the peaks and valleys of a record.
Oh yeah, me too.
Putting
I
it
got
on and just taking a journey for 10 songs or so. That's just how I learned to listen to music, so it's a little
yeah.
bit different now. Yeah, it totally is.
Yeah.
And that's fine. If you could be in any band today, out there today, who would that be?
Oh, dude. Uh, Now, when you say today, are they currently still, like, for people who are still around or currently touring?
I would say people still around. Yeah.
David
Bands that
Gilmour.
exist.
David Gilmour, for sure.
Really? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Now, because of his style. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I have a short story if you want to hear it.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
So when I was being mentored by Twana Turner, she had a buddy who was Grateful Dead's tour manager, and we were gigging a bunch, my band. And she was talking to him. She was like, "Come on, you got to come and see this kid. He's really great guitar player. Da da da. You'd really like him." And he was like, "Yeah, it's just it's some kid. I don't really want to drive 2.5, 3 hours to go to this venue." She was like, "Okay." And so at that time, this song "Sail" by AWOL Nation had came out, and that was playing everywhere. I mean, we couldn't change the radio station without hearing it. And so Twana rewrote the lyrics and made it a Christian song, and she had me overlay the guitar on it. And she sent it to the guy. and the amp that I used is a it's not a clone, but it's an exact version of Johnny Winter's half stack that he used to have with the flange on it back in 1975. And so I used that and played just a bunch all over it. And she sent it to him, and he goes, "Hey, that song's really good. How did you get David Gilmour to play the leads?"
Oh man.
And she goes, "Honey, that's Austin, and that was 6 months ago. You got to come and see him." And he goes, "When's his next show?"
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is no greater compliment than that, huh?
Oh my God. Yeah. It still gives me chills to this day.
That's so cool. That is so cool. Yeah, you're that good, my friend. You're
Thank you.
extremely impressive. And you mentioned Johnny Winter's stack and everything, and these things. You've done the homework yourself, haven't you? I mean, you've gone and looked at these players and what they do and researched it yourself, right?
More or less a lot of listening. With Stevie Ray Vaughan, it took me a long time to figure out there was certain notes that he would pluck with his fingers instead of his pick, like the pickup notes and stuff. And it took me probably, when I was going through that phase, I mean, I still listen to Stevie daily, but when I was obsessed with him, and obsessed is a true term. It was like night and day. That's the whole set was pretty much Stevie Ray Vaughan when I was playing out.
Well, many people would say listening to him daily is somewhat of an obsession.
Yeah. But I would watch live videos and just try and dissect how they got that very particular note to sound that way, or tone or whatever. So I went down a rabbit hole for a minute.
Yeah. No doubt. I mean, it's obvious too, because I mean, you can play the note. That's what I've said to my kids too, and my daughter also played an instrument for a long time, and I said, you can play the note, and there's many different ways to play that note. You can play it with passion. You can just pluck it. You can, I mean, there's all kinds of ways to play one note, and you hear that, and you've taken it upon yourself to go find out how that one note was played, and that makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah. When I was learning, even I would just go to Guitar Center, and they had a soundproof room, and God bless those people who worked there, dude, because when I was learning guitar, I thought it sounded like the record, but I've heard some videos pop up in my Facebook memories. It was not like the record at all. But I would go into their soundproof rooms, and I would plug in a backing track through the amp and stuff, and people would come in and jam, and they would give me tips, because I'd be like, yeah, I'm trying to find out what happened, but it's just not, because I was young and I didn't really understand yet. And they're like, oh, it's just on the G string, you bend up a little bit and sit there and hold the note. I was like, oh. So I've had lots of positive experiences, thankfully, growing up with music.
It's cool. I pulled up your name on YouTube and everything, and I'm looking at clips, and there's that clip from one of the blues showcases where you start out and you're just doing that. You got the sustain on the note, and you're just giving it that body and vibe, and it's so impressive. And I thought to myself, there's a couple, maybe a couple 1,000 plays or something on it, and I'm like, just wait. I'm thinking to myself, that household name thing is really going to happen, man. That was just, I got chills watching it, and I've seen
really
a lot of guitar
that,
players.
man.
I've seen a lot over the years, and there's great players out there, but you definitely have that feel, and it's really cool. I've actually seen Stevie back 83, I think it was. I was 14 years old, and
man.
Yeah, it was really, I don't remember a ton of it, but I remember seeing greatness. I don't remember the details, but I remember standing there and I remember seeing something that was special, and that's kind of that's your thing as well.
Thank you. That's awesome of you to say that. I really appreciate it.
That's so true, so true. I will let you get on with your day, but I got one more question for you.
Okay.
So many guys that I talk to are musicians. That's it. They're
Hmm.
full in, full on, no plan B. What about yourself? You're a young kid, uh, you got your whole life in front of you. Do you ever think, if what am I gonna do if the music thing doesn't work out? Does that come into your mind?
Not yet.
Good. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. Yeah. And I've come to find that, these guys that are making it big, and everybody I've talked to that is a big rock star kind of thing, like
Hmm.
Frank, they didn't have a plan B. That's what they do.
Yeah.
That's, it's a little bit scary for, especially for somebody like myself who was not, in that world. I got a plan C, D, and E,
Yeah.
um, but musicians, they're full on, and it's great to see that you're emotionally and physically and just in every way vested in this, and I look forward to seeing the growth and having that name all over the world for sure.
Me too. Thank you.
Yeah, very cool. Austin, it's been a pleasure, man. And yeah, where can people find out more about you?
Well, if you go to austinmo.com, you can find out all of my social media and stuff and what would have been our upcoming shows.
Yeah,
But or on Instagram at Austin Mo Official or Facebook or YouTube. And if you would like to look at our newest video for the river, just type in the river space Austin Mo, and then we'll be right up on there.
fantastic. I look forward to posting it and getting people out to see you. And when we start touring again, come to the home of the blues here in Chicago. That's where I am, and we'll hang.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
Very cool.
Definitely.
All right, Austin, take care, bud.
Take care. Thank you so much.
Thanks for your time.
Of course.
All right, bye bye.
Bye bye.